Alright, hello. Uh, Being a filmmaker, being a something I wanted to be, is kind of like a really difficult part of my life. Yes, but I know it's always be a difficult part. But once you realize that the difficult thing is always come, you just need to face those challenge by your knowledge and by your experience. That is, everyone was does that, and that is most essential things you have to do. Okay. So it's just like, what is the thing? What I'm trying to say is that, yeah. Uh, Basically, I'm talking about filmmaking and relate with those stuff. Okay. So it's just like while filmmaking and everything, I did know about several things, and I feel really good that I get those knowledge, and I will definitely apply when I get chance to work on some sort of organization TV thing. Then I will definitely try this thing related with the camera and camera movement, and what is all those things, and yeah, and why is the meaning. So basically we are here, we are talking about the camera movement, okay, in use. So what is exactly camera movement, and what is the basic meaning of that movement, okay, and why it is so essential, and how it relates to the emotions of the characters' emotions. Okay, so okay, so first of all, okay, all those information I gather from Studio Binder. Okay, this is actually a channel on YouTube, and they were telling the details about the filmmaking and how will you improve your craft if you use those techniques, and it will really give you really good result. Basically, these techniques are used in Hollywood cinemas. So basically, if we need to try, okay, and it will give you really nice result. Okay. First of all, what is exactly camera movement, and why does we need a camera movement? Yeah, first of all, it's just like when we are shooting things like a movie or anything. It's just like when we are shooting, it's being filmed. It's kind of like you are telling a story, you are telling emotion of the character, what are their feelings. Okay. uh, when you are watching some sort of wedding videography, it's kind of like something like some person is taking some photos and videos, and he looks really good and amazing and really nice. Yes, but in the film, that is the most essential thing, is that we are elaborating the emotions, and we are pursuing those emotions to the audience as also. So it is really essential that viewer, or as a person, or as a viewer, is watching through that camera. Okay. So basically it's like when we are shifting or tilting camera, it's basically just like the people who are watching through that camera, they feel that same vibe through that camera, and also connect with the character as also. So it's really important to use those camera movement, and it is really essential. Basically, it will really gives you really cherry on top. Okay, it's not cherry on top. It's kind of like a really without this, because everyone using it, and this kind of knowledge you need to know about those. And all right. So first of all, we are talking about static and still shot. Okay, what is exactly static and still? Right now, you are watching this video, is basically it's kind of like a really static. It's kind of like his camera mounted on the tripod, and camera is not move, and nothing is move. Everything is kind of like a really static, and it's just like I am kind of moving. So this is called static. Okay, basically this static shot is used for dialogue. Mostly static shot is used for dialogue. That is really essential. Sometimes it's kind of like a over the shoulder or medium shot. Okay. Static has a really good sense of vibe. Okay, because it's, yeah, sometimes it gives, it's kind of like a, I'm saying is that if is this thing is related with the emotion, or kind of like that, or is this moment is Why camera movement is necessary? Yes. Mm, because it gives some sort of emotions to the character, right? But what is the meaning of that? Should I use handheld for this static shot? Like this is kind of like a jittery movement. So is it not gonna good? Yeah, is it good? But I don't know how to do. It's kind of like that. They are telling this thing. Static shot looks really amazing, and I feel really good that static shot is also really amazing. Yes, but why not we are using another like shake or camera handheld or why static? Yes, why is okay? First of all, it's just like we don't have a story or we don't have anything. But we first let me tell you is that if we are kind of like two person is talking, normal talking, yeah. When person is kind of like a really intense talking, so that time we are using a handheld shot because of that the person is in panic situation. So that's why we are using a handheld. So we use some sort of shake on that camera. Okay. But when the person is kind of like a really normal talking and what you are doing and whatever it is, so we are using static shot. It is also really good. Then we are talking about pan. What is exactly pan? We already know about pan. Pan means you are panning your camera from left to right. So that is called panning shot. Okay. So what does it change? Okay, if I use this pan shot, it's kind of like a shifting from one subject to another subject. Okay, so that is called pan. Okay, like us. Mostly just like if it's all depend on the pan situation. It's just like we are kind of like a noticing another object, like right now I am here and another person was here. So basically how we shift the camera, we are shifting just like pan, just like this or like that. Okay, so that is a pan shot. Okay, it's also really good, it's also really great if we are using combined shot with that, like when just like a subject is moved from the camera, just like I am walking like this. So it just like camera is following the subject and as also as a panning. So that is called pan shot. Okay. Then what is the purpose of the pan shot? The pan shot is purpose of the elaborating a scene, like elaborating environment around us. So that is called pan. Okay. And there is a then another thing is whip pan. Whip pan means you are doing really fast panning, so that is called a whip pan. Whip pan means you just like quickly. So that is called whip pan. Whip pan usually used for the as the intensity of the music. Basically, whip pan. There is a one thing I know. La La Land movie, in that scene where the Christopher is doing some work on piano and Mira, his girlfriend, is dancing. So the Christopher was here, Mira was there. So basically, just like we cannot, we need to uh, capture both of them, but we do not move their position. So what we're gonna do? We are using a whip pan. So it just like when the Christopher is doing something piano, he was shifting, and when Mira is dancing, then quickly shifting. So that is called a whip pan. Okay. You mostly use it also in the race car. Yeah, when the race, when the car is like going really fast from like this is the camera and this is the race car. So when it comes from really long, it gives you really slow pan, and when get it really closer and it just like get really fast from the camera. So when the camera is following that car, so it gets really whip pan and it gives you intensity that camera is moving really fast. So that is also called whip pan. It is really good. Yeah, we sometimes we just also need to use those in the dialogue. We can use this thing. Basically, yes, we can use this dialogue, but basically those dialogue is kind of like a really same situation, not to be too much intense, not to be too much slow, and it is meant to be in perfect rhythm. Basically, whip pen is meant to be like rhythm or some sort of beat. Okay, so when that time we are using this whip pen. Okay, it's really good. Yeah, it's really nice and really amazing. But I didn't really see whip pan in a dialogue, but we can use it, yes, instead of over the shoulder we can use as a whip pan. It is also really good. Yeah. Then there is a tilt. Yeah, tilt up and tilt down. Tilt up means this is tilt up, and this is tilt down. Okay. So this is actually just like that. Right now I am here. Okay. So basically we just like showing the subject from bottom to head. So I just called, it's kind of like a revealing that particular subject. So that is called tilt up. So we are kind of like a tilting up to the camera. Okay, when we are using down, that means it's kind of like a really showing her down, but usually most of the time use as a tilt up and tilt down. But when you use when the motion is happening, like when your camera is moving forward, so at that time you can use as a forward and tilt up, so it will gives you really nice transition. It was really good, trust me. Yeah. So tilt up, tilt down is mostly used for the environment, like landscape, like how good is landscape. Okay. And tilt, sometimes we can use on the character as also as a building. Okay. As kind of like a capturing environment or capturing surrounding or capturing character as also. Yes. So at that time we can use tilt up, but sometimes we can use as a character fashions and everything. So that is called also tilt up. Yeah, tilt up or tilt down. Yes. uh, Basically it cannot use when the dialogue. Yes. Yeah, you can use this dialogue, but its sense, that meaning is that it's related with that particular thing, like someone is telling that what you are wearing really creepy shirt. So basically has to be understand that this guy is wearing a really creepy shirt or pant. So it just like the camera has to be tilted up, like seeing that exactly what the character is wearing. So yeah, but actually is not that meant to be. Yeah, sometimes we can use on the dialogue, but mostly we can use to capture the surrounding. Then there is a push in and dolly. So what is exactly push in and dolly? Push in means like you are pushing the camera forward, pushing the camera backward. So basically just like I am here. Okay. So it just like camera is slowly coming to my face. So it's kind of like a really dolly shot. Yes, it's really good. Yeah, sometimes we can use it. It gives you it gives you closer to the character. Yeah, closer to the subject, that what he is feeling right now. Okay. Or sometimes we need to be used as a detail for the dolly. It's also really good that sometimes we can use this thing as a expression, like it just like when that person is saying something, we are kind of like really angry. So we can use this push-in shot, and it is also really good. Uh, uh, then there is a pushback. Yeah, what is exactly pushback? That means we are also elaborating an environment surrounding to the character, like what it looks like right now what if I am making this, so it will create the whole environment around me. So that is kind of like a pushback. Okay. It is also really good, sometimes we can use it to enhance the environment and enhance the how alone he is, or how big environment it is. Okay. So it is really good. Yes, you can use it also. Then zoom. Yeah, I like the zoom. Yes, but not too much. Like if I am zooming a particular subject, like right now I am zooming to my face, so it won't zoom. It won't zoom. I don't know why it's not zoom. Okay. So if I'm using zoom, is actually is giving the intensity of the scene. Okay. Sometimes we are using like a quick zoom or a crash zoom or fast zoom for just quickly found out the detail. We cannot use as a slow zoom. Okay. Like if you want to be slow zoom, then why don't you go to slow zoom? Like mostly we can use as a dolly forward, so that means it can capture like what if, like what is exactly happen when you are kind of like a zooming. That means it just like right now I am, this is the wide angle lens, and right now I am zooming myself. Okay, or zooming just like um, so what is exactly happen when you are zooming yourself? That means it will create the focal length is getting really even bigger. Okay, so when the focal length is even bigger, so that means it can create really kind of like a really difficult image. Right now I am closest to my camera, and there is, see, my nose is really much bigger right now. If I get back, my nose is kind of like really smaller. So it's all depend on the visual effect, or it's kind of like looking the perspective. Okay, basically zoom is used for the fast zoom, so quickly understand what is exactly happening over there. Okay, or it just like zoom in for the large environment, what is exactly happen on the really small scale environment, like there is a bomb blast on the big environment, so we just quickly pan and zoom on the blast scene, so we can find out the detail of that blast. So that is also really good. Okay. Then there is uses dolly zoom and vertigo. What is exactly vertigo effect? Vertigo effect means you are using both. Like if you are using dolly and zoom at the same time, okay, like inverse proportion. So it will create really vertigo effect. Like right now, if I am making my camera move away from me and quickly zoom to my face, so it will create kind of like that key vertigo effect. I didn't really use those things. I just watch on television. It feels really good. It feels like some sort of claustrophobic or some sort of intense situation happen, like when you are watching really crazy things, and sometimes like a shark is coming at you, and you are kind of like a really terrified by those things. So how will you elaborate those scenes? So at that time use vertigo effect. Vertigo effect is really good. That it kind of like a really inverse. Like you can set your camera backward and then quickly zoom. No, it's just like slow zoom. Just like the proportion between the movement and the zoom is kind of like a really similar. Okay, not too much forward and not too much quick zoom. Okay, both are doing really same speed, so it will create that effect. Okay. As also as when you are using as an inverse proportion, like when you are using dolly forward and zoom out, so it will create some sort of subject has the same sense, but it will create the environment is getting even bigger. Okay. So at that time, it can use as how big is the environment it is, and how amazing. Sometimes we feel really alone after that seeing vertigo effect, or sometimes we can feel really amazing, like claustrophobic things from really good amazing things. Okay, so yeah. Then there is a camera roll. Yeah, what is exactly camera roll? Camera roll means this is the camera roll. Okay, so when you are using this camera roll, it will create a kind of like a creative stuff, like when you are using camera roll to that particular scene, so it will create right now is like okay, so that is called camera roll. Okay, so sometimes we need to use kind of like a complete 360, or sometimes we need to use just a little bit of arc. Okay, but it will create some detail, like when you are using as a dolly and camera roll at the same time, it will create really nice depth of detail what is exactly happening, and also really new creative way who will look in understand how do we understand, how do we look to the character and scene and emotions, and sometimes we can sense that rotation was also really good. Okay, so yes. Then there is a tracking shot. Tracking shot means you are following the character, you are following the subject from back, so that is called tracking. Okay, then you are following character from the side like a parallel, so that is called trucking shot. Okay, tracking and trucking is kind of like really similar, really not that too much difficult, but to understand, tracking shot comes from back, trucking shot comes from parallel. Sometimes we need to follow that character from front, so it is also be a tracking shot as also. It is also really good. Yes, you can use it. Then there is a arc and parallax. Arc means you are kind of like a this is arc, that means you are keeping subject on the center and quickly change the surrounding around him, like a camera is movement around the subject, so that is called arc. Okay, and it is also really essential that sometimes we can use this arc for how big and how amazing the character it is, and so yes. Then there is a boom shot or Jimmy Jeep shot. Boom shot means this is kind of like a boom shot, so you are kind of like a going upward and looking the details, like you are going downward and getting the things in front of camera. Okay, so that is called just like Jimmy Jeep shot or a boom shot or a slider shot. So many shots, whatever say that. Yeah. Then there is a camera shake, like this is the camera shake when you are using this. It's a kind of like a handheld shot. Okay, and those are used on the cinema for a really intense situation, like someone is running or someone is trying to chasing. So at that time we can use those handheld shot. Okay, so these are all this the camera movement you can use to apply to make even better. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.